right, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. I am Riley with the T Storm Chasers, and we're going to take a look at your forecast. But before we do, here is a brief word from our sponsors at Cube Portable Storage.
What are you doing?
Decluttering?
Moving? Remodeling? In need of temporary storage, emergency cleanup, or just need to declutter? Cube Portable Storage has the perfect solution. Rent your Cube Portable Storage container today.
And don't forget, they got roll-off dumpsters for the other stuff. Call Cube Storage for all your moving needs.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday out there. It is December 19th, and let's go ahead and jump into this afternoon's video. So as we take a look firstly at the national view, and the what's left of the storm from yesterday has moved off into the northeast part of the country, and this is what's left of this morning's activity. It is now into Minnesota, Brainerd, down towards St. Cloud, Minneapolis, Mankato, Wilmer, down towards Marshall. That is where we have some snow that is currently going on here across the Minnesota area. And it's moving in an easterly direction, so that will not be impacting our region. Now, we have this activity up here in Montana, and this is what we need to watch because this is what will become activity for a weak system moving through the area. This is all part of a weak system that will be pushing east and southeast into our region as we go through the rest of today into tonight, and it'll be across western and northern South Dakota as we go through this evening into tonight. And so those of our audience, Rapid City, Faith, up towards Mulbridge and Aberdeen, those audiences should be watching this, as there is going to be a weak system with potential for rain/freezing rain/snow pushing through the area. Now, we don't expect any accumulation. With one exception, the Black Hills could see 1 to 2 inches of snow, but overall, nobody's really expecting to see any accumulation out of any of that activity. And now let's take a look at your current temperatures across our region. As you can see, the central and southern parts of the country is very warm, and the orange and red shaded areas, that's where we have the warmest of the weather. And central and western Nebraska, as well as central and western South Dakota, that is where we have the warmest air. Temperatures are in the 60s out there, which is absolutely incredible for mid to late December. We have 62 right now in Rapid City. It is 42 out in Pierre, 56 in Phillip, 49 in Chamberlain, 57 in Winter, 62 in Valentine. It is 38 in Mitchell. It is 27 in Sioux Falls. It is 23 in Aberdeen. So we're obviously colder as you go east, where we have a lot colder weather. It's 11 degrees in Minneapolis, 9 degrees in St. Cloud, 4 degrees in Duluth. So the Arctic air is up here in Minnesota. And you got 24 in Worthington, 15 in Albert Lee, 25 in Spencer, 39 in Omaha, 32 in Des Moines. So it's, obviously the more east you go, the colder it's going to be, and the farther west you go, the warmer it's going to be. It's just kind of that way right now. That's the contrast in temperatures that we've been seeing for the last few days. So we're going to go ahead and look at the model runs and take a look at what's next in the forecast and look ahead to your Christmas outlook. First, let's hear a brief word now from today's sponsor, CE Construction.
From roofing to siding, CE Construction is setting the standard across North and South Dakota. Our expert team delivers quality, durability, and trust on every project. CE Construction, Dakotans helping Dakotans with their roofing and siding needs. Call or visit us online.
So as we look at the latest HRRR model, this shows us a look at what's ahead here over the next 24 hours. And as you can see, we have the rain activity from Montana that's going to be pushing its way into northwestern South Dakota and then into northern South Dakota as we go through the rest of the evening. Then look at northeastern South Dakota, seeing that freezing rain up in that area. So Aberdeen could see freezing rain up in that area. Black Hills could see some snow accumulation. And then as we play this out, freezing rain/snow continues across South Dakota, portions of South Dakota. It's very going to be spotty and scattered in nature, moves across Minnesota, and then the system by tomorrow morning will start to fade away and move out of our area And then for tomorrow, high pressure kicks in, and we are going to be drying things out, and we are going to see a quiet period of weather. And looking at the European model, if we play this out, it supports that. We're not really seeing much after tomorrow, or after today into tonight. Starting tomorrow, we do not see anything ahead in the forecast, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, looking at the wind gust map, what are we looking at for wind gusts? Well, it does look like this afternoon the winds are going to be picking up a little bit as we go through the rest of the day. Winds 20 to 30 with gusts to 40 out in the eastern areas here. Aberdeen, Watertown, Sioux Falls, into Minnesota. Western South Dakota, we could see 35 to 45 mile per hour winds out here. So not as strong as yesterday, but we still could see some strong gusty winds. So be aware of that. And well, luckily we're not looking at anything close to what we saw yesterday. And then starting tomorrow, we'll start to clear things out with the wind gusts, and we won't really see much of any wind gusts after that. Now, looking ahead at temperatures, we are looking at a pretty mild forecast overall. Now, as we go through starting tomorrow, there is going to be some cold air up in northeastern South Dakota, so that area up there will be cold. Minnesota is going to be cold. But other than that, we're looking at temperatures starting to warm up. We got mid-30s for Sioux Falls. We got 40s south and west of Sioux Falls, and Rapid City, low 40s. And then as we go through your day on Sunday, finishing out your weekend, we're looking at 20s again up in northeast South Dakota into Minnesota. Otherwise, 30s and 40s for everyone else. Sioux Falls will be near 40. And then next week, what are we looking at? Well, starting on Monday, looks like 30s and 40s in the east, 50s and 60s out to the west, maybe even a 70-degree marking, maybe near Valentine, Nebraska. Mid-40s for Sioux Falls. And then on Tuesday, another mild day overall. We got temperatures that will be in the low 40s for Sioux Falls, 50s out west, and we got 20s up here in northeast South Dakota. So we do have a little bit of a contrast in temperatures there. And how about Wednesday? This is Christmas Eve. We're looking at a very mild forecast overall. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s in the east, 50s and 60s, even some low 70s. Can you believe that? Low 70s out in western South Dakota on Christmas Eve. Sioux Falls near 50. And then how about your Christmas forecast? Look at these numbers. 50s and 60s across our area. Near 70 out towards the Phillip area. And Sioux Falls will be, it looks like we'll be hitting 50 degrees on your Christmas. That would be quite the Christmas present. That would be some very nice weather. Now, the only downside to this is the white Christmas that everyone's been wanting and talking about. Does look like at this time, with the mild weather that we're going to be seeing over the next week, it does look like, unfortunately, we will not be seeing a white Christmas this year, just with all the melting snow. A lot of the snow is already melted across the area, and it does look like with the warm temperatures that we're going to be seeing, looks like snow is going to melt. Also, one more quick thing I wanted to just touch on. I looked at this yesterday. Maximum observed winds that were recorded from yesterday's windstorm. Look at some of these numbers. We had a few of wind gusts over 100 miles per hour. Rapid City had 101 mile per hour wind gusts. That was at 3:12 in the morning yesterday. Mud Butte, South Dakota had 100 mile per hour wind gusts. Ellsworth area had 100 mile per hour wind gusts at 4:30. I mean, just some incredible wind gusts of 70 plus miles per hour, 70s, 80s, 90s of wind gusts. Some incredible numbers. So let's wrap things up with your 10-day forecast. So Sioux Falls looks like we're going to start to moderate in temperatures into the 30s this weekend. Overall, a solid late December forecast. But then as we head into next week, look at these numbers into the 40s and I think we'll eclipse these numbers by quite a big margin. I think we'll be in the mid to upper 40s for next week, and I think on Christmas Day, I think we will hit 50 degrees in Sioux Falls. And then after that, we'll see what happens. Towards the end of the 10-day, we might start to dip back a little bit in temperatures, but I still think overall 40s are a pretty good bet. And again, we're not looking at any systems at all. No moisture in the forecast for Sioux Falls. And then Aberdeen, we're looking at cooler temperatures. We're looking at 20s this weekend and then 30s next week. And still, though, for late December weather, that's pretty good. And we're not seeing any moisture for Aberdeen either. And then for the Pierre area, we're looking at one cold day, and that's tomorrow, mid-30s for a high. And then after that, warming back into the 40s and 50s in the forecast for Pierre. And not a lot of moisture to talk about either for Pierre. And then for the Rapid City area, a much warmer forecast. They are going to be much warmer. The coldest day of the 10-day is going to be tomorrow, with temperatures around 40, and then after that, upper 40s on Sunday, and then next week, 50s and 60s returning to the forecast. Not a lot of moisture at all to talk about. Overnight lows in the 30s and 40s, and a very, very mild forecast for Rapid City. So this is sponsored by the Black Venom Outdoors and the Gatekeeper Security and Fence. That's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also be sure to follow us on Facebook and X. That is where we are most active. We'll be providing updates throughout the day. And then also be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great weekend.